The issue arises is how do you prove damages in a wrongful death case, and how do you prove damages in a survival action case? Again, the Wrongful Death Act provides that the damages that are available are the medical expenses, the cost of burial, and most importantly, other damages. That's the way the law reads, other damages. So the courts have filled in what that means as the grieving loss that is suffered by the family as a result of the loss of a loved one. So how do you prove that? How do you prove the deep grieving damages that have been caused by the accident? Well, a lot of it is self-explanatory and it's understood. However, you'll have relatives, to the extent they can articulate and discuss what the loss has meant to them. And of course, it involves the nature of the relationship they had before the loss. Some of the most grievous types of losses involve where a parent loses a child or a child loses a parent. But needless to say, any type of loss involving this component is very serious. Now, the other components of loss involve the survival action, which goes through the estate, and that involves the pain and suffering prior to death. Oftentimes, someone will be involved in an accident, and they'll die relatively shortly after the accident, or they'll die almost simultaneously. Under those circumstances, there is some pain and suffering that occurs prior to the death, and oftentimes we'll employ an expert, a pathologist, a forensic pathologist, who will be able to testify as to what the injuries were and the period of time of suffering before the person actually died. And that gets involved. Secondly, a big component of the survival action is how much wage loss that person would have earned over his or her work-life expectancy. And we involve, again, experts involved in that, both vocational experts and economists who can project based upon the amount of work that person had done up to that time and the type of work, or in case of a child, what the likelihood is that that child would have done going forward, and sometimes they'll use as a baseline what their parents had done. But in any event, everyone has a work-life loss over what they could have earned over their lifetime, and that amount is typically a large amount. And again, experts are employed in order to make that determination.